And I suppose it was just looking at how they're dealing with Maggie, like, because it's not an absolutely straight, let's do an impression of, it's not Meryl Streep or Gillian Anderson, it's not that kind of Maggie. It's more it's an imagining of somebody's brain going back in time and Maggie as he remembers her and her influence.
Britain needs an Iron Lady.
I also grew up in the 80s, so she was basically my life from about the age of 7 till about the age of 18, and we never thought she was going to go, and she was a massive, horrific presence in our lives.
In a way, it is more than to Scottish jobs, it is to Scottish morale. I know that.
I think across Scotland, actually, Margaret Thatcher's not particularly liked. And so I was like, Margaret Thatcher, making her funny or making her likeable or... strangely, I'd not really looked at Margaret Thatcher since the 80s. Admiration is the wrong word. Recognising something interesting, which was she believed what she said. She was a politician who genuinely thought she was doing the right thing, and it was kind of weird to have to look at her and go, oh God damn it, you at least had your version of what you thought was best, that you absolutely solidly believed in. And that was quite challenging to admit that.
So I return to my main theme, building the healthy society.
What was really interesting as well was sitting with costume, and we were just trying to find a basic Margaret Thatcher, and you realise, you think it'd be easy because she's so iconic and everybody thinks of the blue suits and the this and the that. And actually it was really hard to get the look right, if that makes sense, because when something's so iconic, it's so easy to just, that's not her. Do you know what I mean? So getting a basic Maggie was actually the hardest thing, I think.
We've been doing a lot of research recently about her fashion and how she sort of styled herself. She was a big fan of Marks and Spencer's and really liked economical clothing. She used to put it, she loved to have a variety of blouses to mix up her outfits. How we've gone with her design, Kenneth has come up with a look that screams Margaret Thatcher and has Tory blue as a really dominant colour to establish that. But as the show goes on, she actually becomes sort of more and more ridiculous, and her design evolves so that she becomes sort of more theatrical as the performance goes on, and by the end of the show she's almost drag queen-like in her comedic fashion.
I think there's some really gorgeous moments that are very moving, and there's also just stupidness. There's just real stupidness at points which makes me laugh. Stupid dancing. I think at one point I'm dancing as well as Maggie, and that was just really good fun.